everybody. Welcome to episode 887 of the Video Game Outsiders podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Michelle Madison.
I, of course, John.
And I am the Sony Stallion Savril.
Yes, that's right.
Oh.
Which is very fitting
Not that
because we are
Sony
doing
pony shit.
Sony show tonight. John, I hear you might be a Sony guy now. We're going to find out tonight because we are celebrating all things Sony and
I don't like any of these game asses. This Game Pass shit. It's garbage.
Game ass. All right, we'll see. Don't piss off your Xbox fans. So, of course, we are live right now on twitch.tv/John and Michelle. And like I said, talking all Sony tonight. Okay, if you bring up a game that is not Sony, you have to have a good reason. And I think both of you are going to.
I think so too.
And John, you've got some songs prepared, which will be at the break and the end of the show as well. He did like a Sony gospel thing. He's out of control. He hates Phil now. He's a Sony guy. So,
welcome in. Come in, brother.
You guys are more welcoming. I've noticed the Xbox people, because I'm a PC person, so I feel like I get to partake in all of it.
That's not true.
No, I think it is. Xbox people get very mad when their games
the
go to
Sony people absolutely hate the Xbox people. No doubt about it. I saw today, because the Switch is about to pass potentially the PS2 numbers. I don't know. Maybe. Who knows? Mm-hmm. But Sony had to reiterate, we sold 20 million. And then everyone's like, oh, and then they're like, oh, what about Xbox? What about Xbox? All they could do is just bring up Xbox, just to rub it in.
I don't know, John.
They're evil.
You're sounding a little bitter because Halo seemingly heading to PlayStation this year. Indiana Jones going to PlayStation. Doom the Dark Age is going to PlayStation. Fable going to PlayStation. It sounds like that's the one console to own because it's getting all the games, John, if you're a console person. So we'll get into that.
I suppose.
That's right. You suppose. Well, John, you buy your games on your PlayStation over your Xbox a lot of the time as well.
It depends. I have guts, I have hunches, and Harry Potter, that was a correct hunch.
Yep.
You were correct on that.
So, yes, I do sometimes do that. I choose that sometimes over other ones, but, I mean, for first-person shooters, Xbox all day long.
All right, well, we'll see how long that lasts. Well, because there's rumors Xbox is dead this week. We'll get into all that with the news, and we're having fun, of course. But we're doing a bunch of Sony giveaways this month in the Discord from our sponsor, cdkeys.com. So right now we've got God of War 1 and 2. We also have Helldivers coming up and a bunch of other stuff like the Final Fantasies. And so cdkeys.com is actually great for Sony stuff for PC because I started looking, like a lot of the games I'm going to talk about, they're like $8 on CD Keys, but they're $50 on Steam, and they're like $70 on PlayStation. So you can save a lot of money on CD Keys with like these Sony ports to PC for whatever reason. Like, I mean, I want to talk about I'll just mention it now. Like I watched my sister play Days Gone because she wanted to play it again. I'm like, I'm doing a Sony show. She's like, oh, I love Days Gone. I want to play it again. $9 on CD Keys, $50 on Steam, and $40 on PlayStation because it's on like PS Plus. But that's a game where I feel like it should have gotten a sequel.
That's crazy talk.
Yeah. And if you've never played Days Gone, it's kind of one of those like lesser known, lesser talked about Sony big games. I know probably all of us know about it, but some people probably don't, and they're on PC and they didn't play that one. $9 on CD Keys. Like, it's kind of a cool story. So yeah, there's a lot of good deals on CD Keys. So check that out. And then come down to our Discord on videogameoutsiders.com and enter to win all of these PlayStation games. Spider-Man 2 is also heading to PC. So, I mean, I wanted to ask you, Sav, because you're like a Sony console guy. Am I at all a Sony stallion? I won't say pony because I know you get offended because I'm playing PlayStation games on my PC. Like, what is a Sony pony at that point?
What is a PlayStation is the question.
Yeah,
I think Michelle's
because
asking.
if I'm on Steam and I'm playing and I'm loving God of War 2 right now, right? I'm a Sony fan at that point.
Sack boy.
That's right.
I believe it's the games, right?
Yes.
It's the exclusive games and I think that's what really is the Sony part.
Yeah, you're right. It's all about the games. People say that the games move the system. I think that's true. And if I'm getting the games, then I'm a Sony fan because it's Sony games. They don't have the Game Pass or the Game Ass like your song says, John. But I know you touched base with PS Plus again, John. So I'm curious kind of what you discovered on there.
I want to talk about that quite a bit. I have a big list of things
That's right.
regarding the PS Plus stuff because that's where I spent my weekend.
Encyclopedia.
What's that?
He's ready. He
That
took
sounds like
notes.
an encyclopedia.
Not the turkey. The turkey's not here. This is
Oh,
actually a
also,
piece of
John, I know
paper.
you played Marvel Rivals Season 1, and we have some Gunnar Optics sunglasses to give away. Again, they reached out, and they have ones that were inspired by Robert Downey in Age of Ultron. They are the Doom, D-U-M-E glasses.
Gunnars.
Yeah, they look really cool. We're giving those away as well in our Discord.
They look badass.
Gunnar Optics has like some Marvel-inspired ones. They've got like Groot glasses, and like they're doing these like Iron Man-ish kind of ones, or Robert Downey, because they're kind of like Tony Starkish. They don't look like Iron Man.
Well, they're not Iron Man. Iron Man's not putting these on.
Well, Tony Stark wore them. Okay, so he wasn't the suit. He wasn't over the Iron Man suit. But
Okay,
Tony Stark
let's
is
be
Iron
clear.
Man,
These are not
okay?
Iron Man's glasses. These are Stark Industry glasses.
Okay, well, the same thing. Whatever. So yes,
No,
we're giving
these are-
away
this
Gunnar
is-
Optics
He's
glasses
in his
in our
convertible.
Discord as
His
well.
hair's slicked back. He's on
Yep.
coke. He's driving around.
He's doing coke.
That's the scene.
Doing coke.
Well,
doing
he's
coke.
Robert Downey, but
Yeah.
like that's the scene we're painting here, not a guy in a
Okay.
metal suit with
Right.
aviators on. That
Okay.
doesn't make any sense.
All right. Well, I thought he had the over his suit, but no. So check that out as well on our Discord, and you can talk to Sav as well. He's a mod in our Discord, and he's always there with his Sony love. So we are live at
Sony love.
Twitch.tv/John and Michelle. We do every Tuesday from 9 to 11 p.m. Eastern. If you miss it, though, you can get our app. It's on iOS and Android because we do tons of bonus shows during the week. Some are free, some are premium. Now, this week, if the rumors are true and Switch 2 is announced on Thursday, we are going to have a bonus show dedicated to it.
An emergency show.
An emergency show up on the app, going over all the Switch 2 stats and that. So if you want to get that and the entire back catalog of almost 20 years, how do they support us, John?
That's right. Go to our website, videogameoutsiders.com. When you get there is a red premium button. Go ahead and click it, lick it, slam it, whatever you need to do. Go to the next page, sign up and go premium. Join Club VGO for $1.99 a month. Once you are a member, you will unlock our entire back catalog of 20 years and all the bonus stuff we do every single week. Micro VGO, John Show. Like Michelle said, we're likely going to be doing a Nintendo Switch 2 announcement
Switch bitch
video
episode.
tomorrow.
Yep. That's right.
And,
so Sony Pony, Switch bitch on the app. We need to do an Xbox
Yeah,
show
we do
soon,
stuff every
though.
week. So like a couple episodes a week. So check it out, videogameoutsiders.com. Go premium, $1.99 a month, and then also grab our free app, totally free, iOS and Android. Search for Video Game Outsiders. All right. So we got a lot of ground to cover, I think.
We
A
do.
lot.
I am excited because once again, this kind of pushed me to try something that I would have never played, like whenever we do our themes. So let's just jump right into it. So you guys know, if you've listened to the show, that God of War was one of my favorite games in a while. I kind of went crazy for it. I played on my PS4 Pro, and I started playing God of War 2 a little bit just at my sister's house. And I said, you know what? I'm going to wait for PC on this one. So I finally started playing it on PC, and I'm glad I waited because in ultra wide, the game is pure cinema. It
It's
looks
gotta look awesome.
amazing. And like this game is not a story game. Like, yes, there's a great story, but there's a lot of this is combat, this is action, this is just like God of War 1. But it gives you this like Sony did a great job with both of the God of War games, feeling like it came out of a real movie universe. Like he is actually like you feel like you are
He's big.
he's substantial, I guess I
Well,
would
the
say.
camera,
Like,
I mean, that's the noticeable
Yeah.
change with that game.
Yeah.
They put the camera in so close.
yeah. So the storytelling is, of course, phenomenal. Graphically, it looks a lot better than the first God of War. Now, some
How's
of that
it
is
run?
because I'm on PC. Runs great. Of course, I have a good card, but it runs great. Like Sony did a good job with this port. It looks really good. Like I said, I always check in with the Sony ports, and I'm like, okay, is it ultra wide? Is it uncapped frames? And yes. Like they actually are doing good PC ports now. So that is impressive. Like they're taking it sort of seriously. They have their own landing page on Steam with a bunch of stuff. Like they're all of their games sort of cataloged, and I don't know. I think it's kind of just was really well done. But I mean, what can you say about God of War? Like if you haven't played these games, come to our Discord and enter to win them on PC. Like if you've never had a PlayStation, if you're going to sample, some people go crazy for The Last of Us and the Horizon. Like I think these two games are kind of don't miss Sony games. Like if you've never had a PlayStation. Like you've got to play God of War 1 and 2. So this time around, though, the combat is a little bit different. So there's more verticality to the levels, it seems like, because of the Blades of Chaos, which you can now use to swing around and sort of get up to like ledges. The platforming elements seem a bit more alive. The whole level sort of feels more like a real place where you're fighting enemies up, down. And there wasn't really a lot of flying around in the first game. Like, yeah, you climbed up like ledges, but you weren't like flinging out your blades and swinging and crashing down through floors and stuff. And there's also health bars with like that need to be broken through with like ice and fire attacks. So it seems like a little bit more I don't know, complicated combat in a good way, like having to kind of pay attention, less hack and slashy, like, oh, I need to use this, I need to do that. But like,
how's
like
mouse
the first
and keyboard
game,
with this?
I played a little bit with mouse and keyboard. It's okay, but it's a controller game to me. I think because controller. Yeah, I was used to the first game on controller, so I feel like it's kind of for this. Now, Moronic in the chat saying PS is dead. I mean, I don't think they're dead. Maybe the console, whatever. Like if you guys, but it's like if you're a console person, I've always said this, like I think it's the console to own if you are only a console person. But for me as PC, like I love that I get to play these PlayStation games now, and I get to play them better, frankly. They're higher frames, they're higher resolution, they're
I really wish
ultra-wide
they would do day one on these
with
releases,
all the games,
though.
yeah, not just Helldivers.
Well, that's what I was going to ask. So, like, they got this, where they're doing almost like 6 months to a year to get to the port. Are they taking that time to like make it good? Because I haven't.
Yeah.
Have we heard about a bad Sony port
There was
that went really
one,
shitty?
I think the first Last of Us didn't launch right, but then there was like a patch that fixed it right away. And I think since then they've learned their lesson. And I do think it is to make them good, because PC people, we are picky. If it launches and it's a bad port, you're not gonna get to play the great Sony properties. But I think also, Sav, they want to make sure they have that exclusivity, getting people to buy that PlayStation, because I know a lot of PC gamers that also have PlayStations.
That's the old model though, Michelle. I think that's where Microsoft is ahead here.
No, I don't think they're ahead, because I know a lot of people who are buying games twice. People bought Spider-Man on the PlayStation. Now I just heard I'm buying Spider-Man again. You did, exactly. So we aren't afraid to double dip. I think on PC with a lot of these things, because we're like, oh, I'll play like the full pack later. So a lot of the time, like we just gave away Ghost of Tsushima Director's Cut. So a lot of the times when it comes to PC, it'll have the DLC with it. Like they did that with like the Final Fantasy 16 game as well. Like the DLCs are there, and even with the DLCs, it's like cheaper. So you're kind of like, all right, I'll play it again. It's got all the DLCs. People, I don't know, maybe it's just the people I know, but I've seen them in the Discord too. They're like, oh, I'm buying this game for the second time on PC. So that 6 months might be kind of a weird number, because you may not do it twice. You might just wait. But sometimes when they were like a year or two, and they've gotten away from that, like because the God of War took a while, but I feel like now it's a little bit more like 6 months a year. So maybe we'll get less buying. But John, I don't know if we need day one. I think
I think it would be nice. And I should mention too,
I don't feel like we need it, if I'm being honest.
A lot of these games play pretty decent on the Steam Deck too. Like I've played a lot of Spider-Man Remastered on my Steam Deck.
Yeah,
like,
it's one of the most popular Steam Deck games I see coming
What's
up.
that? Which one?
Spider-Man. Remastered.
Yeah.
And also Miles Morales
well.
is popular. The second one is coming now. So Sony has these like great properties that are doing very well on Steam still. And Steam Deck is a part of that. And so they're optimized well enough to run on Steam Deck, which is actually good. But yeah, so God of War 2, I mean, no huge surprises for me, but it is the type of thing where you will want to, like, I don't know, you got to pay attention, be in the mood to listen to the story. But people that just poo-poo the game, I've seen some of them saying, oh, it's a story game, it's stupid. It's really not. There's action, combat, open world, like crazy shit going on. So the only downside for me with the God of Wars right now, and this might be controversial, I'm kind of over Dad Kratos, Dad of War. I'm over it. Like I'm kind of craving the old Kratos back.
The David Jaffe Greek mythology Kratos?
I was wondering if you
just-
were going to say that.
You were worried? I don't want a third game with
I
him
was
talking
wondering
to
if
his
you were gonna
son.
think that.
Okay. I kind
So
of
let me
want
ask you a question.
the asshole back.
If they went back to the old gameplay style, like the camera's
Well, not
way
even
out,
that.
and
I don't mean
more
I don't mean the camera. I mean
I'm
the
asking
whole,
though, what I'd like them to
Okay.
go back to have a game like the old one, like the original PS3 era God
I
of
mean,
War.
maybe. I'm thinking though, like this sort of game, but I'm over the father-son banter. Like it was kind of okay for 2 games, but I'm thinking about it again. Just like kind of going back again with this whiny little kid and dad,
He's a
no son, you can
liability.
do this. Yeah, but it's like, I don't know. A lot of people are like, as a dad, this game choked me up. It's like, okay, we've done this. Now let's get back to Kratos fucking bitches and like with chains and like he's an asshole and he's angry and he's killing shit. Like I kind of like Sony has become like the sad dad console too much. And I feel like they need to kind of branch out of that. Okay, maybe Herman Hulst will bring that energy, John. Do you think? Because now that Jim is gone.
Well, he's got a good watch.
He does have a good watch. So
Yeah,
Embry says he joined the club. He loves PC Outsiders. Thank you, Embreeze. We appreciate that. Says, yeah, we just did a PC Outsiders. What do you think? Do you guys like Data War? Do you think I'm crazy?
Michelle, I think you might. I don't want to spoil any of the story for you because it doesn't sound like you're that far.
No, I'm not that
in. Am
in.
I right on that?
Mm-mm.
Okay, you might get your wish.
Okay.
I'm just going to say that.
All right, good. Good.
But
I'm into the story right now, though.
The one thing I felt like this one didn't happen, and you'll probably notice, I don't think this is a spoiler, that I want Kratos to also go back to the days of, like, taking down these towering inferno, guys. Like, there's some larger stuff, but I mean, like,
yeah, I killed a bear.
I remember killing that fucking Titan in 3. Yep. That was epic.
You're right. They could make the scale a bit bigger. Like I'm talking about my wish list for what I'd like to see with the next God of War. I kind of want him to be a little darker.
Do you want to lose the Norse stuff and go back to the Greek?
I'd be all right with going back to Greek mythology or even Roman mythology or something like that. I mean, I do like the whole like kingdoms. What is it? The 7 kingdoms, whatever. I kind of like that, John. But I don't know. I feel like I don't know if I just kind of want like a different tone, but maybe I'll get it. Sav is saying I might get it. So, okay. So also than that, I did pick up a game, which, I think you and Matt did play, John, but I had never played this. I had no interest in it, but my friends wanted to play, and you can play it co-op. It's Sackboy, A Big Adventure, which is also out on PC. Once again, $60 on Steam and $18 on CD keys. So if you want to pick up a bunch of your friends, you can get like, a couple for the same price. I really didn't have an interest in this game until I saw that you could do it online co-op. And it didn't launch with online co-op, but it has it now. Once again, ultra-wide support, kind of great graphically for what it is. Like the textures look really good. And there are special co-op levels that appear in certain maps that you can do, which you have to work together and kind of like puzzle solve together. But when you're playing this alone, it kind of feels like a baby game for babies. John, was that your memory of it?
I didn't really like this game. I certainly
didn't either.
I certainly played it. This was a game I think I got for Christmas one year.
Yes.
And it was a great Christmas Day game, but ultimately I didn't really like it.
Yeah, but I mean,
it's kind of just boring. Like,
I think the co-op is what changes it. Like if you have it, try it again with somebody, that kind of can make for fun. But alone, I'm not like a lover of this. But once again, $18 in CD keys, I feel like that's a fair price compared to the $60 that you'd pay on Steam. But kind of like we've said, I feel like Sackboy got replaced by Astrobot, even with the costume thing, because there's all these costumes you can unlock and find in the game. It's like, okay, this was basically Astrobot.
They pretty much killed him. He's done.
He killed him. I feel bad playing him. There's going to be an Astrobot. They killed Sackboy. But no, it is just a 3D platformer, if you guys don't know. And it is kind of cool. Like, I don't love it like from what I played alone. Like, I was kind of like, this is a little boring. But like I said, I still think it's a good game and a good port. And just kind of like bringing different types of games to PC like this. Like, PC isn't always the place to get platformers, maybe like first party platformers, we're more known for other things like MOBAs or ARPGs or whatever. So to get like these kind of Sony platformers, because we're not getting the Nintendo ones unless we emulate, I think is still a good thing. So check out Sackboy: A Big Adventure, but I do recommend getting it on CD keys, or it's probably a part of PS Plus if you're playing on console, John, I would assume. Or whatever.
But like they took Little Big Planet 3, like they delisted it and removed all the DLC and shit. Like, I think they really did kill this fucker.
They did, but he wasn't. They didn't kill him off as bad as they killed off Concord, though. He's still around. And then other than that, like I said, I watched my sister play a bit of Days Gone again, and she was just kind of talking to me about she was pissed off that they weren't doing a sequel, and I was like, I think they heard they didn't like the white male protagonist, like they weren't ready to do another one of those or something. I was like, okay, whatever. It's a biker gang, but like she loves the story, and she was kind of like, I only saw like half of the game, and she was telling me.
No, I played that game. That's a cool open world-ish game.
Yeah. And it's $9 on CD keys. Yep. Well, I don't think it plays like GTA, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, it does.
You can kind of... No way. I don't think it plays like GTA.
It's GTA with zombies.
Maybe. Not from what I saw, but I don't know. John thinks everything's a GTA clone. If you have a car with a map, he's like, GTA clone.
Yeah, an open world game with a map and quest, GTA
this
clone.
Is way
Done.
more store. I don't know. Whatever. It's $9. Check it out on CD Keys, our sponsor. And I think that's it for me. I did play some other stuff, but I want to talk about it on Micro this week, or maybe on the Nintendo show if we do it. I don't know if I believe the leak is happening tomorrow. Like,
I know.
I don't know.
Not tomorrow. Thursday.
Oh, Thursday. I don't even know if that's happening.
Early.
So we'll see.
I mean, there's some other stuff leaked about like the GPU and stuff. Mm-hmm. We'll talk about it in the news. So I don't know. It seems like it might happen, but Nintendo hasn't confirmed that. So
Yeah,
we'll have to
I
just
don't
see what
know.
happens.
So Zaboom is saying Days Gone was a success. I mean, it's got 92% positive ratings on Steam, and I mean, people like it that played it. Everybody I talked to that played it said they loved it. So, I mean, if it just didn't move, that's fine. But I still think it could have moved on a sequel. Like, I think
Did I buy that game? How did I play that game? I absolutely played that.
I don't know.
I must have bought it.
But yeah, so whatever. I know there's not all of the options available on PC for Sony, but I still feel like I went into that Sony world this week.
Sure.
And
did you have to log into your account, Michelle?
Well, with Sackboy to play online, you do. Yeah, you have to. It requires that with online play, but you can also do it local co-op play too with Sackboy, which is good. So it gives you kind of, because people have said like you can't couch co-op on a PC, and it's like, well, why not? I've got a TV plugged into my PC, and you grab controllers, and you can do it if you want. But it is nice to have that online play. As PC gamers, we're generally more like play with our friends online type of people. So yeah, but I don't know. I think I don't know if I'm a Sony stallion, but I'm so happy that the games are on Steam. Like, it's awesome, and they're great. They're ultra wide. They're graphically like optimized. They look really good. And I'm not going to shit on them for requiring the Sony account for some things. Like I'm just going to get over it. Because so what? I'm in the Sony world and I didn't have to buy a PlayStation, which is great to me. So I'm just drinking True Lemon and True Lime in water. All right, John, what did you do? Then make a song.
That's right, Michelle.
Game ass kind of sounds like almost a compliment.
All right, so here's what happened.
Yeah, tell us.
All right, so I have to fully admit. Okay, so on the weekends, the epicenter, my lighthouse, my beacon of light, my direction, my North Star, it's the Xbox. Okay, I'm just going to tell you. I just go for the Xbox by default. Sunday morning, whatever. I just went for a walk. I'm done. Hang on,
Sony
okay?
show.
So I'm just, that's the conditioning I have. It's just what it is, okay? And then I rarely check in on the PlayStation unless there's some release that we want to talk about or whatever, right? And I'm a PlayStation Plus subscriber. I have that basic TARD tier, and I said, okay, this weekend I'm going to actually really go in there and treat PlayStation Plus like it's my Game Pass, like it's my North Star. And
yes.
I upgraded my account to the premium, which it was prorated. I do annual billing. I think there's 2 or 3 months left on my my current plan, so I had to pay like $3 or something to upgrade.
Okay.
But then but in February, I believe I'm going to be charged $169. So I need to decide if I want to keep this. But I really went through it, and they do some things really well that, in a lot of ways, Microsoft just doesn't do. Like, for one, the game trials,
Yes.
right? Like, Sabril, do you have this tier, and do you take advantage of this? Like,
Yes, I do. I actually really like it.
And they have like Wukong in there, and Baldur's Gate, and Metaphor, and
that's cool.
And they've got like a lot of like new games, so it's kind of like a rental. I don't know. It didn't say how long do you get to play it for.
I think some of the
varies.
games are an hour, but then there's other ones that are like 2 to 3 hours.
Okay, so it's like a rental, right? And then like this month they gave us a free game, Suicide Squad. I grabbed it, installed it, didn't play it yet. But the first game I actually played over the weekend was Marvel Rivals, which has nothing to do with PlayStation Plus. And I actually spent a lot of time in Marvel Rivals, and I have to say I actually really enjoy it quite a bit. Like it runs really well on the PlayStation. The controller aiming is spot on for me. Like I can't stand controller on Xbox. See Call of Duty with controller now. I think third-person shooters tend to do better with controller, and Marvel Rivals just feels really good. Michelle, it's so well done. I know you played it and talked about it, but like it's so well done.
It's hugely popular. It's good to bring up. I mean, there's some interesting stats going on right now. They broke the Steam like concurrent player, like they beat GTA or something. But then as far as spending, they broke the Steam 135 million in the first month.
Yeah.
Now this is what's interesting: 55 million on Steam, 27 million on PlayStation. 2.7 million on Xbox. What's going on?
Microsoft is fucking dead.
What is going on? Nobody's spending money on Xbox. I'll put that in the chat so you guys can see that again. So this is.
So what are you
Listen,
saying?
Can I ask you a question, John?
Yeah.
Because from what I understand, you are not a Marvel person.
I
Is that
am
correct?
not a Marvel person.
Which is always I love the Marvel universe.
Okay, so I'm pretty much anti most of these Marvel movies. I love Batman, especially Christopher Nolan Batman.
Yep.
It kind of stops there for me. I've seen Iron Man's. I don't think I've seen ever any X-Men or Avengers or Fantastic Four, like any of that bullshit. I just doesn't interest me.
Well, Batman's DC.
So how does this translate to the game then?
Well, okay. I mean, listen, I grew up with it. I was fucking Spider-Man for Halloween when I was like 7. I mean, I loved that shit when I was a kid. My mom took like long underwear and dyed it red, and then we drew the lines on it.
Oh, hell yeah, okay.
Like the web lines.
And by the way, Sony doesn't get any money
it.
from the Spider-Man in this game. They only have the rights to him in their own game.
Right.
So I was wondering that, and I had to look it up. But
so what was interesting to me about Marvel Rivals? Okay, number one, it's a NetEase game, right? And China company, but they've knocked it out of the park. Like like the polish, the character design.
There's some interesting stuff going on about that, John. I want to bring up while you bring it up because China killing everything. So basically, Blizzard's Overwatch. So there are rumors now that Marvel Rivals is going to be doing the single player content that Blizzard promised for Overwatch for a decade and then dropped. They're going to be shitting it out apparently soon.
Listen,
That's
Blizzard's
the rumor.
fucked. You want to know why?
They're dead. That's right.
Overwatch eaten alive by Marvel Rivals.
Yes.
PoE destroyed Diablo.
Exactly. Wukong destroying other, I don't know, Star Wars, whatever.
What do they got left? They have like a bunch of people on the Hearthstone team.
But Marvel Rivals is massive and not going anywhere. And their developers are fucking serious about these outfits, these skins, these characters. And people don't have superhero fatigue, by the way. They just didn't like the shit that was coming out. And the same thing for the Star Wars people.
Right.
There are people that still have Star Wars. They just don't want your shit. They don't want your shit on Disney. Sorry, go ahead.
And they also promised like new characters like every 6 weeks.
Yep.
Which is something that Overwatch has never done. Right?
They can't because the developers are shit. So
or they make a character and everyone fights about it because it's not diverse enough or something.
Yeah, exactly. Right? It didn't have the trans flag on its ass tattooed or something. But like they don't care about that. They're just making cool looking characters with cool outfits.
They're making badass characters. So like my favorite character in this is the Punisher right now. I think it's not like the most best character, but I like the Punisher. Mm-hmm. And honestly, like back in the day, like I remember buying like the first issue of the Punisher comic book at 7-Eleven.
It's
and
a
by the way,
movie.
I want to know where the fuck my comic books are. Like I had all these.
Your mom probably gave them away. Like
where are these
my
comics?
Mom gave everything away.
Every now and then I think about my comic books. Like I had all the G.I. Joes. I had ElfQuest. I had the #1 Punisher comic. Where's this shit?
You should find that. That stuff's worth some dough.
Yeah.
You think the first Punisher is worth anything?
Yeah, especially with didn't they re-announce the movie's going to come out?
It's $200 on
good.
eBay.
Have you seen
first
the
Punisher
other
is
Punisher
$200.
movie? There's also a Netflix series. I like the movie better than the series. You should look.
He's
It's Thomas
up with
Jane.
Daredevil again, isn't he?
Oh yeah. But no, Punisher's a good character. I haven't played him. When I played Marvel Rivals, I was doing like Doctor Strange, and I thought it was like the combat didn't connect like as well, but it didn't matter. It was just mindless kind of chaos. I can see why people like the game, even though I may not play tons of it.
I like it quite a bit.
People like it.
So I like the Punisher a lot because he's got a machine gun, he's got a shotgun, he's got a smoke grenade,
he's like
got
the
a
Soldier
turret,
76
he's
guy.
he's got a turret he can sit down in. So like I like what he's doing. Like I can relate to those abilities quite a bit. I haven't tried nearly all the characters. I know that the raccoon is supposed to be OP and the girl with the white hair. I don't know. Like those are like the two best characters or something. But I played mostly the Punisher, and the matches aren't very long. I never felt like I was getting my ass kicked, or if I died, I felt like it was my fault. But I was just having fun playing it. Like it felt good. And there's like a synergy thing going on in your team. Like if you have 3 people that have like the synergy thing, you get a superpower. But everyone has to pick the right character.
That's what's unique about that like it has some like Marvel lore. And Sav, this might bother you, and maybe you can help me recommend a movie for him, because I was like, well, go watch a Marvel movie. And he's like, well, I can watch Venom too. And I'm like, don't watch that one. Go watch like the Avengers or something. Like,
well, that's in the
like,
movie theater. That's what. So okay, I'll get to that in a second.
It was not good.
Let me finish this.
Okay.
So so I installed this on my PC also, but there's no cross progression. What the fuck? They got to fix that.
They don't? I'm surprised about that.
Yeah, and I heard it's because everyone's fighting.
You can't?
Nope, no cross progression. Trust me.
Oh, the skins. They're fighting for like skins.
Yes.
Money.
Yeah, exactly.
You didn't try this on the Steam Deck, did you?
I did not. No, I installed it on my PC, but I didn't play on the PC yet. I've only played on PS5. But I really wanted to try it on the PC, see how mouse and keyboard felt and ultra wide and all that shit. But I highly recommend this game. It's way better than I thought it was going to be. I thought this was going to be DOA. It's not. It's good. It really is.
No DOA.
Yeah, but we get so many of these hero shooters that are like a topic for 1 week.
People don't have hero shooter fatigue. They don't have superhero fatigue. They have shit game fatigue, and I think that's what's happening here. And shit character design.
Yeah.
That's
right.
We
got a lot of good butts in this, and
yeah, the Invisible Woman's ass was trending for a week. That's all you need. But no, the gameplay is. Everybody kind of says like the gameplay is kind of mindless fun, and that's enough because you've got the Marvel world to back it up, and they're putting these character designs that they're shitting out. People kind of want to spend money, which is why it's already broken records for Steam for a month. The most money ever spent in a game. That's crazy, and that's impressive.
It's good.
And we talked to, that Chinese woman who was like sort of a liaison between America and the U.S. for gaming. We have that on the app. She was actually kind of fun to talk to because she said like China has moved from the mobile market, eyeing the mobile market, to now eyeing with Wukong and all these other games like this, eyeing like the big meat and potatoes of the big AAA blockbuster games or the free-to-play games, and they're coming, okay? And they have already, like I said, Overwatch is dead, like all this other shit. PoE is eating Diablo, so
right.
It's going to be interesting.
Is this game on mobile? Because doesn't NetEase do a lot of mobile stuff, though?
I don't know if it is yet, but it will be, and then watch out.
I don't...
Because, yeah.
They gotta tie all your accounts together. They just have to.
Yeah. They will. That's a huge miss for them, I think.
They probably didn't expect this sort of...
Well, I'm sure like it's Sony and Microsoft and whoever's saying,
right,
we want a cut of all your, in-app purchases, right?
And how do you do that? Yeah. It's a mess.
It's sloppy, right? I know Fortnite I saw some documentary about the whole Fortnite thing, it was actually a YouTube thing, about how Fortnite accidentally made it so cross-play worked. Because initially Sony wouldn't allow it, and then they allowed it, and then no one knew it was happening until the PlayStation players started seeing players with spaces in their names. You can't have that on the PlayStation, but you can have that on the Xbox.
That's how it got leaked. We're like, wait a minute.
That's how people figured out that they were playing against Xbox
people.
Use
a space bar. Okay.
What?
Oh, okay, that's funny.
That's not right over there. There's spaces in that guy's name.
Yeah.
Right, and then so Sony went to Epic and said, "What the fuck are you doing? Our players are playing against Xbox," and they said, "Oh,
Ew.
It was a bug."
Oopsie.
But at that point, the cat was out of the bag, and so it eventually just stuck. But they did that. That was a sneaky little trick. All right, so anyway, going back to this. Yes, I love Marvel Rivals. I'm going to play it more. I really wish my progression carried over to both. I'm itching to spend money on it. I haven't yet. I haven't figured out if there's any advantage besides skins to spend money. And then, like you said, Michelle said, "Oh, you should watch a Marvel movie." And so with my PlayStation Plus premium subscription, I get 3 movie credits that I can spend in the Sony video store.
Fun.
Wow.
Okay, and then they have in there the Venom. That's why I showed that to you, because that was in the theater, and I thought it would cost me 2 credits to watch that of my 3.
You don't want to watch that one. That's like your one Marvel.
Don't waste it on that.
No.
Is it that bad? The Venom shit?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, it's not good.
Okay. But again, that's something that Sony has an advantage over Microsoft because they're a fucking movie studio, Yeah. And so they have a video store, and they tie that into the PlayStation Plus Premium.
That's
you
cool.
get credits. Mm-hmm. I think it's really cool. On a side note, I know on our bonus show I mentioned I watched Waterworld. I have like this mental checklist of movies I want to watch that I somehow skipped.
Yes, Demolition Man. You said
Demolition Man, Judge Dredd, and
How about
Waterworld.
like the Lord of the Rings trilogy and Sav? There were some other ones we needed him to watch. You haven't.
I've seen. Yes, I have.
One episode of Game of Thrones.
Okay, I watched Waterworld. Corny as fuck. I appreciate the big budget and the scope of it.
Meh.
I haven't watched Judge Dredd yet, but I watched Demolition Man, and my God, I fucking loved it. And
by the way, we're talking the old school Judge Dredd, right?
Yeah, the Sylvester Stallone. Yeah.
Okay, because don't watch the remake because that's horrible.
Yeah.
No, I never saw the Sylvester Stallone one. But anyway, Demolition Man. Holy fuck! Do you guys know that story of that movie? That is literally
I've been
today.
watching it for like all my life. Yes, I know Demolition
Love
Man.
that movie.
But
great.
it's batshit crazy. That movie is literally
It's awesome.
They predicted the future. And honestly, I'm glad I didn't watch it when it came out in the 90s because it would have been lost on me. The plot the plot makes sense today because
it made sense then too. Just like The Matrix hit at the perfect time.
But it's literally it's the year 2030. Mm-hmm. Everyone is PC beyond fucking belief. They're neutered beyond belief.
Leary rant is classic.
Yes, but you can't swear. The cops don't have guns. The cops don't know how to handle violence. There's no violence. The cops have been neutered to death. Everyone is just like happy and perfect fake, but just
music is radio commercials.
Yeah. So then what happens is these cops and Wesley Snipes' character, who's this uber bad guy from the 90s.
Jedi says every single person listening has seen Demolition Man. I agree. If you haven't, there's something wrong with you.
But it blew me away. No, I don't agree with that. But okay,
I do.
Whatever. So these bad guys and a cop from the 90s come to the 2030 and the bad guy starts causing chaos. The cops can't handle it.
You want to explain Titanic to us next or something?
But here, the best part of all of this, though, for me, is that who's leading the revolution against a stand-up comic? I'm like, this is fucking amazing. Right?
God. It's just like Idiocracy, John. It's happening.
I know. I started watching that again too. I haven't seen that in a long time. I've watched half of it in the last month.
You gotta have Office Space and all this stuff.
So yeah, and I'll watch Judge Dredd next. I really want to see that.
Good. I'm glad you're catching up with whatever you were doing in the 90s while we were watching good movies.
And then, all right, let's go back to PlayStation Plus. All right, so I did the premium, and I was like a kid in the candy store because I'm like, all right, I have all these games. There's so many titles in here that I want to play, revisit, and I started getting excited because I think some of them maybe are PS5 Pro enhanced or PS5 enhanced. I don't have a PS5 Pro, but I started out with, I just installed a whole bunch of shit, and I played some of it, and I'll just talk about some of the highlights and some of the lowlights. I played Ape Escape, which is one of those games like... Or properties like Demolition Man that I never played. I've never played Ape Escape. Have you, Savro?
No, I skipped that one.
I would not compare Ape Escape to Demolition Man. I've never played Ape Escape. Everybody's seen Demolition Man.
No. Everyone's played. Everybody's played Ape Escape. Ape Escape is like an astrobot. Like it's everywhere. It's one of these like iconic Sony mascots. I don't even know what the fuck it was. So I played Ape Escape on the loose. Oh my god, this game is shit. Like it's. You're in a level with a net capturing apes, and that's the whole fucking game. I'm like, this is dumb. So I wouldn't play that. No wonder they stopped making this.
Yeah.
Right? And then I installed Pursuit Force Extreme Justice. Now, this is a game I have played on my PSP, and here's something that's great about PlayStation Plus. They've got PSP games. What does Microsoft have? So, no handheld games. I know Nintendo does, but Pursuit Force Extreme Justice, if you've never played it, I love this fucking game. It's probably one of my favorite PSP games. It's a very arcadey driving action shooting game where you're like these like just stupid crazy cops with all these crazy vehicles and hovercrafts and helicopters and planes, and you jump basically from car to car to car, killing the bad guys, stealing their car, racing to the next one. You jump out of your car into their car, shoot them, and then the level lasts like 5 minutes, and that's it. And then you just go on to the next level. And there's some cutscenes. It's just a great old school arcadey, really fun game. They just don't make shit like this anymore, and I kind of miss it.
Yep.
Have you ever played Pursuit Force?
I have not.
No.
And by the way, if you want to play the older games, you have to do premium, which is kind of what made me.
You have to do the premium,
which is what made me do it. And then I also installed Thief because I really remember that game on the PC quite a bit.
Game.
I know that was like one of the first like really good stealth games besides Splinter Cell. I didn't play it though. I installed Assassin's Creed 3 because I want to revisit that because I really like the history. I think it takes place in New England, right? I installed Dead Island 2. Michelle, you played that, right? I should play that.
Yeah, I like that one mode though, like the Neighborhood Watch mode. It's okay though. It's not like a great game. The Neighborhood Watch mode I like it was like you basically had to. It was a horde mode to protect a house, so it was like you had to protect the house. The rest of the game is kind of just okay. My sister liked it more than me. I'm with you, Sav. I don't think it's like, but the neighborhood watch mode was okay. You have 5 days. Zombies are coming for your house. You have to protect the house, so you barricade. That mode was more me.
Yeah. And then I played a game I really wanted to play because I think about this franchise all the time.
Okay.
Killzone.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
Didn't even know it was
It's
still
one of
around.
these lost... What?
You can still play?
I love that you go into this library. This is amazing.
Not multiplayer. They shut down the servers.
Right. Okay.
But this is one... didn't they do a Killzone character in Helldivers? I think they did, right?
I believe so. Let me check.
Okay, so I installed Killzone Shadowfall, which I've never played. I played 1 and 2, maybe 3. I never played this one. I think this was a PS4 launch title. And let me tell you, this game looks fucking fabulous for a PS4 game. And it is enhanced. It runs at 60 frames now. I guess originally on the PS4, it was a variable refresh rate. And you could lock it in at 30, which is still an option in there. But now it's running locked in at 60, which it couldn't do before. So they improved it. They made it run better. And the campaign is an open worldy shooter. Kind of like a GTA clone with missions.
Okay.
An open world. It reminds me a bit of Halo, the last Halo game. The kind of the big giant levels, and you kind of feel like you have agency, but you really don't. I think you have more agency in Halo. But it feels good. The character models blew me away. I'm like, this looks as good. If this was just up-res, it's at 1080p, you know. I'm like, if the resolution was just a little bit higher, this could hang with any game that's being released right now. Like the character models.
Why they just drop it? Is there any rumors about a new Killzone game?
I don't know. And the gameplay.
No, he's worried about it being in Helldivers.
Okay,
right.
and the gameplay is actually pretty neat. I think, by the way, a lot of people hate this game compared to the other Killzones, and I'm going to revisit the other Killzones, but I just wanted to play this one because I know I never played it. And the cool thing about this one is that you have this drone that follows you around, and you basically can give it orders to like hack things, and you know, like if you set up an alarm system, you can have the drone fly over and turn it off so that the enemies stop coming. You can have it attack enemies. You can have it do a zip line for you. So you have like this really open vertical world, huge. The set pieces are, oh my God, like the whole opening intro. You start out as a kid, by the way, with your dad, where these bad guys are taking over the world, and you're in like this cyberpunky city. And honestly, I was like, why does this look so good? The buildings and how big it is and the scope of it.
Sony first party stuff is usually good storytelling and good graphics.
I know.
It
like,
is.
And then it kind of made me sick. I'm like, why did they stop making Killzone? Why did they stop making SOCOM? Why did they stop making Resistance? Why did
Sony became all sad dads? The shooting was too toxic. They're all Neil Druckmann with the bald women on the.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So yeah, I enjoyed my time in Killzone. I was really impressed by it, and
Good.
I can't wait to even go through this stuff again. I really want to play Assassin's Creed 3 because I really like the history in that game. So
Yeah,
that's kind of what I did. What's that?
Good. Yeah, that was still when Assassin's Creed was pumping out good shit.
Yeah, I'm really into that just early America history, and that's where that covers.
Yeah.
And I might play Suicide Squad just for the fuck of it, just to see how bad it is.
It is pretty bad.
Is it really?
But now it's part of your library, at least, right?
Yeah, it is.
It's true.
And then
You can
they
pay for it.
comes with like some DLC or season 2 or something with it or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Listen, PlayStation Plus Premium. I don't think I really gave it a chance, and it's pretty good because the titles that are in there are really different than Game Pass. Like Game Pass does have a lot of gems in there, but they just don't have that gaming history like Sony does. So I think it's worth it. It is kind of a hard pill to swallow, though. $170 a year, but I guess Game Pass is $20 a month if you do the Ultimate. So it's actually a little bit cheaper.
And you get to play on PC and console. With this, you don't. I mean, if Sony kind of offered. Is there PC access stuff with it?
Okay, well, let me tell you, too. I played Killzone on my PS5 in the living room and also down here on my PC using the PlayStation streaming app.
Okay.
And I streamed it from my... And my network's all wired, so there's no Wi-Fi involved. But I streamed it from my PlayStation to my PC down here. I had to use a PlayStation controller. It would not let me use an Xbox controller. I did use it with the USB cable. I didn't even bother with the Bluetooth. I don't even think my PC has Bluetooth. And it was totally great, honestly. There's nothing wrong with it.
Okay.
I think it's probably a lot like the little handheld they have. Similar
and
experience.
Rob Sprance used to stream to his iPad with that too, and just kind of lay there with a controller. And you could probably do that too, like deck mode.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Deck.
So yeah, I'm glad we did this. Sony is not dead. I'm here to report it.
Makes me feel good to hear you say that, John.
Game ass.
Yeah, game ass. I end up buying the games I want to play anyway that are on Game Pass. I had to buy Pal World, 3 other games.
So, all right.
What are you drinking?
I am drinking a bubbly, sparkling water Bellini Bliss.
Wow.
Peach, pineapple,
feminine.
mango flavors, and other natural flavors. All right, Savril.
Okay.
Sell us on this Sony stuff.
That's
I know
right.
you
Why
are
you
the
a
ultimate
stallion?
pony.
All right. Well, I played 4 games.
Okay.
So I'm going to start out with Ultros, which was actually one of the games that you could get on the trial. It was I think it was a free 1-hour trial you can play on with Sony PlayStation Premium.
Okay.
This is like a 2D Metroidvania. I know that everybody hates that, but this is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
It's like
Did you do
colorful.
pot and acid before you played this?
Well, I mean, this is like going to a Grateful Dead concert for sure.
Yeah.
It looks like it. It looks like a mural that would be in like a pothead's bedroom.
Well, you know the thing is okay. So I'm playing this game, and it kind of you're like kind of like this weird like ninja, but you're also a gardener that is planting seeds.
Oh yeah.
And you use the seeds
like impregnating people.
Well,
No, like weed.
no, you use the seeds to to power up and to make spots where you can climb around and things like that. But when you destroy something, you're eating like the corpses and you're eating these vegetables. That's how you level up.
You're eating the dead?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a hard sell, but it's also it's one of those loop games. So you loop and then you can get into different areas. It does have a talent tree that you can start filling up if you eat enough like corpses and stuff like that. It did obviously remind me of like the old school Metroid,
Right.
the 2D.
Which I have to
So
admit, I'm kind of getting really over that formula.
I think if they would do some of them really work and others I just don't know. I'd like to see more things like Inside where they're using like more of a background. Whereas this was just like all trippy art. So it's on PlayStation. It's $10 on Steam. I mean, it was okay. I know I'm not selling that one great, but I mean, it's definitely worth a try.
Well,
if
it sucks.
You're into that kind of
So,
game.
but this is one of the game trial games, and you
Yes.
could play it for how long? An hour or two? What is it?
It was an hour.
Okay. And how do you know? Is there a timer? Like, is there like?
Yes, when you pick the trial, it goes big numbers. You get this X amount of time to play this.
Okay. It's still didn't remember Xbox did that, Michelle?
No.
Yes, they did. They had demos. Every game had to have a demo.
Oh, you're
remember
talking
that?
about the Summer of Arcade again. I mean, for me, it's like I'm a Steam 2-hour trial abuser. So,
But Xbox Live, every game had to have a demo. Like every game.
I think they need to bring. I mean, PlayStation said they were going to require it with certain titles. So I'm all for demos, but a lot of people are doing it anyway because they've proven like it does increase sales. Like if the game is good,
Right.
showcasing it is a good thing.
But
I like the
ahead.
demos that you can like kind of like John, where if I'm going to put like 2 hours into something,
yes.
Carried
I want
over.
to make sure it carries over.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
worst demos are the ones where
Yeah.
you play 2 hours and then you got to play those 2 hours again. Like that is bullshit. And I've been bitten by that a few times.
Maybe they don't want you. They want you to just play 10 minutes, think that you like it, and then just buy it. Because I've done that too. I'm like, this doesn't carry over. I already know I like this game. Let me just go buy it. It might be something
Right.
like that.
But some games make it clear that it's going to carry over. like when you start playing it.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay, you're ready.
And
for the next
that's
one?
true with this, right?
Yeah,
You play these
Ultros
demos.
is too weirdo stuff for me. I don't like the look of this, if I'm being honest.
I don't like the
Eating
look of it,
corpses,
honestly.
drugs. It's not my
Right,
thing.
the guy's planting seeds. He's a gardener. He's like going to a fish concert. Like,
I
what
was
the hell's
tripping,
going
this would
on
probably
here?
be
It's
awesome.
trippy. If I was high and if I did drugs, which I don't, I would probably like it. But okay, so what's next?
Okay, now, stay with me here now. Now, John, have you
Yes,
ever
sir.
been late to a ball?
A
You got
ball?
sucked into a cabinet that now gives you magical
Cupboard?
dresses.
Like, gives me what?
Wait a minute. This is sounding like
Cinderella? What is this?
Yeah, so so I played Infinity Nikki.
Okay, good.
I went
it's a good
I went
game.
into this because it actually looked like the graphics are really good on it.
They are. It's
but
Unreal
this
5.
game, it is an Unreal 5. It looks really good. There is a game here, but let me tell you, like this is they're trying to get females to
Yes.
play these bigger games. Now
Yeah.
you basically jump around, and when you double jump, you switch dresses into this blue bubbly dress, and basically it's like you're picking up like flowers and crafting materials because you want to craft new dresses that have different abilities, and like they have different attributes like sweet, fresh, elegant, sexy, and cool.
And you can catch
And-
bugs, and you can comb animals, and you can collect stars on
Comb
top
animals?
of buildings.
Yes.
I talked a lot about this game on
You
one
are
of
a
our
stylist.
recent Weeb episodes. You are a stylist. I think it's very well done for what it is. But if you're a
It
straight
is.
dude, you probably won't want to play much.
And the thing is actually
Can you be a
download
guy,
this
or
and-
is only these
No,
girls?
no,
only
you're
a
just
girl
Nikki.
with the-
You're Nikki.
Is this whole
And you have
world inhabited only by little girls?
No.
Cute girls? Okay.
No,
no,
there's dudes. There's
no.
cute guys.
And you have like you have a pet like I think it's like a cat, like its name's Momo. And but you can
Very
actually
Final
the thing is
Fantasy.
that this is on mobile as well, and
Yep.
it does cross, so you can like
Yep.
stop on your PlayStation and play it on mobile. It's a gotcha game. There's microtransactions and shit, and like I mean, if I wasn't a straight dude, then I probably would play
or
a
if
lot
you're
more
like
of this, but
it's like the only woman you've looked at and you're trying to upskirt Nikki, maybe you'll play a lot of it. But honestly, like I enjoyed it for what it was because I like collecting outfits is kind of like a kryptonite for women. So
Yeah.
most women.
Kryptonite?
Anyway, yeah. Well, it's a weakness. Like,
No. Oh.
Yeah.
I thought you were like repulsed by that. That would
No,
be
it's like our
kryptonite.
weakness. Like it weakens
Okay.
us to like, because they had powers. And it's like, well, if I get this, I can do this. And there's great progression in that game. There's a huge talent tree where your outfits unlock and you're crafting outfits. You're collecting to craft outfits, which are going to let you do something else. It's a lot like Hogwarts where they drip out different progression systems, John, and they do a really good job of that. Once again, created by, is it a Chinese team? I don't know.
yes,
The
I
quality
believe
of
it
these
is.
games coming from Asia, it's just next level. Like for what
By
this
the way,
game
did
is,
you know this
it's
is
good.
the
And
fifth-
everything's pretty and beautiful and
Oh wait, Sav, this
And-
is
and
from the
I-
guy who worked on Zelda. Did this game too?
Yeah, this is the 5th installment of the Nikki series. I did not
Yeah.
know this until I looked.
Really?
It up.
But it's in, but
Yeah, I don't know
John
how
said
that
the
guy
who
is-
worked.
Yeah, how did he get out of there?
I don't
no
know,
No one
and
ever
then-
leaves Nintendo. I'm
he
telling you,
left.
there's a hit on that guy. Yakuza's going to take care of his ass. You just
We'll
watch.
see.
There'll be a story.
He's making a lot of money though. It had like 50 million
He's
pre-orders.
on a
and-
Yakuza list somewhere.
All right. I'm glad you tried it though,
he's-
Sav. I'm glad you checked it out so you can give.
Now
kind of
that's
your
not
perspective.
a PS Plus game, is it?
It's free.
Oh, it's free.
No, it's free. It's free. It's free to play because
Yeah, it's a
it's
gacha.
got all the microtransactions.
Yep.
Yeah, it's a gotcha game.
Great game though,
So-
John. You might like it. Jumping around, getting stars. Sorry.
So for my last game, I was smiling the entire time listening to John going into the PlayStation Premium
Mm-hmm.
because I did the same thing. Now I've heard John talk about this IP, and I'm going to be honest with you, I don't know what the hell I was doing during the '90s, but I missed Siphon Filter. So I downloaded Siphon Filter.
Did you see
Logan Shadow.
Demolition Man?
Of
Oh, yeah.
course.
Oh, yeah.
You didn't live under a rock.
Come on.
Everyone played Siphon Filter.
No,
I did
more
not
people
play
saw
Siphon
Demolition
Filter.
Man, though.
No.
Yes. But I did play Siphon Filter N. So what do you think of this?
So this
It's
is okay.
so bad right now, dude. It's so the controls are so shit in this game.
Okay, so the Siphon Filter. This is Logan Shadow. So this is Siphon Filter Logan Shadow. This is the PSP game from 2007.
Oh, so this is a later game. Because
they ported
one,
this front to the PS2 in 2010.
Oh, okay. Because the PS1 game, I revisited this because I've said this before. My sister had a PS1. She went away to college. She came back and I took it. And the first thing I got was Siphon Filter. And it was great back then, but I revisited it recently. Dude, the controls are shit.
Is it the old tank controls?
It's so
I can't do that.
Bad. So how's this one?
This one's actually not bad. Like I did the tutorial just because I was wondering like kind of how they were going to do it. This one's you're just pushing up and then it locks you, it snaps you to a corner. You can peek around corners, things like that. I actually was having fun with it, to be honest with you. I really liked it, and but again, I'm new to this whole series, so I didn't know like any of the backstory, and I don't know. I had a lot of fun with it just for a little bit of time I played it.
Well, sounds at the time, the PSP like library would be. It's completely new to me. I've never had a PSP, so that's like
I like the PSP better than the Vita. I'm probably in the minority, but I have more memories of that. And I had like the white Star Wars one and shit. I had a God of War red one too. Why did I have two of them? I think I got rid of it and then got it again. But I loved that system. So yes, I was really excited. And the games don't look that bad on the television, right? Like they were 16 by 9.
Yep.
I think they were.
This just really wants me. This makes me really want PlayStation to come out with not the Portal. I want a handheld, another really good handheld.
Well, several. I've thought about this a lot. Like back then, we had the PSP and the Vita and the DS and the Game Boy and the Sega Game Gear and all that shit. Like all those systems had games that were unique to that system. They were ports. They were different versions.
Yep.
And that's what was cool about it. We can never go back to that ever again, right? I don't think so.
Exclusives are dead, right? Why own one per thing?
Michelle, there would be like a version of God of War for the PSP that was completely different than the PS2 or PS3, right?
Yeah, because I had Aladdin for Sega Genesis, and that was different though than the Nintendo version. That was shit. My version was good.
The mentality is it has to be exactly the same as the other console and PC versions.
Right. I actually think Sony was doing it right back then because if you remember, this is like if you talk about God of War Ascension is on PSP. You can't get that shit on regular PlayStation or anywhere else. You had to play it on PSP. So I agree with John 100% on this. That they it was like a separate game. Like you had a system, but it actually had its own separate games, which was really cool.
Those days are over, though, like you say. So because Badger was asking, is it just a rumor? Isn't Sony going to do another handheld? I think it's a rumor right now, right? We haven't heard.
I think it's a rumor, but I think they're going to be forced to do it, right? I mean, Microsoft is really forced to do it because I'm telling you, they're scared to death of SteamOS. They just are. They have
all the
to
other handheld PCs. Why would you buy an Xbox handheld if you can get a handheld PC that has Windows and Steam on it? You wouldn't. So
I mean, at the end of the day, Microsoft makes all their money on Windows, okay?
Yep.
And if they lose the ability to have you game on their system, on their operating system, because SteamOS is so great, because it's going to start out with the handheld, and they're letting anyone use it now, you know there's going to be boxes next. There's going to be desktops. There's going to be whatever.
But handheld is the hot market right now with the dock.
But still, it's still a gateway to Linux, right?
Right. They've got to do something.
It's a risk to Microsoft and Windows.
Yep.
And Sony needs to just react too, because they're being like Nintendo is going to probably destroy when this new Switch comes out, and Sony won't have a dog in the fight if Microsoft's doing a handheld, which I think they're definitely doing. So,
like we talked about on our little Discord podcast, John, I think Nintendo's good for a bit, but I don't think they're going to last in a long run. With what they're doing.
The rumor about this next Switch is that it's pretty damn powerful, and it has NVIDIA juice.
We know about the GPU, we don't know about the CPU, and we only know teraflops, which may not mean anything.
NVIDIA.
Well, it has DLSS, NVIDIA, right? So, all right, what are you drinking, Sab? Before we move on,
which no one else has.
Okay, so my last game, because I like to come in peace, is an Xbox game. And it's Indiana Jones. I finally finished it.
Also on PlayStation, though, right?
coming to it, right?
It's coming. All right.
Yeah, which people are mad about on the internet, but
oh my God! Did you get out of the Vatican yet, John?
No,
because Egypt is really cool.
I haven't played in a couple weeks.
I'm telling you, if you got to see this thing through, you have to see this thing through. Once you get past Egypt and there's some other thing, I'm telling you, there's an oh shit moment in here. You're gonna, and then the ending. I mean, the whole thing. You haven't seen anything, and you definitely have no clue where the story is going.
So the story's that good, huh?
They need to make it a movie.
I wanted this as a movie. This should have been.
I think it's better than the last two indie movies.
Oh, 100%.
Oh, for sure.
Just based
Those
on
are
what
shit.
I've seen already.
Yeah,
but how do you? But you can't make this movie. Who's going to play Indiana Jones?
Well, yeah, that's the problem.
You CGI
I mean, Harrison Ford's 85 years old.
Yeah, Cece says John's never getting out of the Vatican. I agree. You
I
probably
will.
can't do that puzzle.
I got too many games in my life.
Listen, the Vatican is confusing as fuck. You try to streamline that thing to get the
Well,
hell out of it.
I'm underneath. I'm still in the fountain. I did 2 of the 3 puzzles in the fountain. After that, am I done with the Vatican?
You're the same place you were the last 7 times we brought up this game, John. We know.
I know. So after I do the fountain, the fountain, you go downstairs
Fountain's
and there's all
movie.
those. Do you know where I am?
No, there's still more to do. I'd stick on the main storyline on this one because the Vatican gets super confusing. It's very vertical. There's all kinds of hidden shit.
Yeah.
The only thing my only complaint is I was going to try to 100% this puppy, and there's a game-breaking bug that they haven't addressed yet. That doesn't. So once you beat the game and you do something in it, and you want to go back and try to get this achievement, you can't get it anymore. And it's a bug, so I'm sure they'll fix it. But I am so glad. I went through because I wanted to see the secret ending, which is you have to find all 50 relics in the game, and it gives you there's an ending, and then there's after the ending you go do the secret thing, which gives you another part of the ending, which is even better. So again, this could have been a movie. This thing is amazing. I mean, the guy, the voice actor, fucking spot on.
Yep.
I loved it. I couldn't stop playing it.
Yeah, I know. My wife, even when I was playing it, she's like, "Is that Harrison Ford?" I'm like, "Nope."
It's insane. But I think they already signed up for a second because this one was so successful.
Yeah, that's good.
Well,
I'm glad
good.
to see
Microsoft finally has a decent single player game,
and they're putting it everywhere. They're putting it on PlayStation. It's out on Steam, obviously. That was sort of kind of going through the rumor mill this week. Halo, has that been confirmed? Halo coming to PlayStation as well now?
Yeah, and probably Switch 2.
Yeah.
I saw that, and there was another rumor of Gears of War. There's no way that's going to happen.
Well, that would
The
be,
Halo
you'd
thing
be
is
no
one
reason
thing,
to own
but-
it. Yeah.
Right. And that's all for me. I am drinking the Red Bull Winter Edition, the iced vanilla berry.
Oh. Sounds refreshing.
Exotic.
All right, well, let's talk about some news. And like I said, there was stuff coming out with like this PlayStation thing with Halo finally looking to make a jump to PlayStation this year. How popular will it be? I don't know, but this is Microsoft's philosophy. I'm sure both of you guys are on board with it. I think it's a good thing. Kind of put the games everywhere. You guys aren't
I think
haters.
it's a great thing.
Okay.
No,
it kind of makes sense, doesn't it? Like after this many years, I mean, I think so, to be honest with you, it's the same thing with Mario and all the other shit. They've made their money on this thing. Fucking throw it somewhere else and let
Nintendo
other
is
people.
frustrating.
I know, but Nintendo won't even revisit their old IP.
I don't. Why? Doesn't make sense.
Like, I mean, most of their old games are just trapped in time, and they should be.
Sell that shit for sell Metroid, sell Super Nintendo, or sorry, Super Mario Bros. Put it on an iOS, charge 99 cents. Bam, another $1 million coming in.
I know.
Yeah.
But in Halo, this is a great idea for Halo because you're going to have all these players for the multiplayer, right? If I'm assuming it's crossplay.
Yeah.
Like this game could be like one of the most played multiplayer games, like overnight
It'll shoot up.
for a couple days. For a couple days,
I don't
Michelle,
think people are
calm
gonna
down.
care. No,
I think
nobody's
they
going
are.
to go play Halo. I don't think so. But hopefully,
Why?
No one's going to care.
What do you mean?
PlayStation people aren't going to.
If I was a PlayStation only person and I had Microsoft jealousy or whatever, it would be about Halo, like stuff like that, right? Like,
I mean, I'm going to agree with John, and the reason I say that is even though I'm a Sony guy through and through, I mean, I had that original Xbox and 360.
Sure.
And I did have some fun with some Halo. So throwing, being able to play it on PlayStation again, yeah, I'd fucking load it up.
Right.
All right, we'll see how well it does. I don't know if it's going to make waves, but hopefully it does. Until Dawn movie trailer was released. No snowy cabin. They're taking a different philosophy with like the days repeating, but it's kind of interesting.
I dig what they're doing here.
Okay, I've heard the director Ted was saying he's done good stuff. I'm not familiar. Like I didn't look into that, but Sony also has the movies.
Well, they're not following the game, which is I think is a really smart move.
Interesting. I thought it loosely followed it. Okay, I didn't know that. So just a group of kids. That's the only similarity with the game.
Yes, and they're just going to call it Until Dawn. I think they actually should do this with the Dark Pictures anthology as well.
Yeah.
To be honest with you.
Yep.
I don't know shit about.
And there's also a Helldivers movie coming. So Sony properties are getting pumped out.
That's weird. I guess that kind of makes sense. Do you think they're going to make it like Starship Troopers? Like, are they going to go that full campy?
Be satire, dude.
Yeah. I think so. Probably cheesy.
You have to.
Yeah, I know.
You got to do it.
But I mean, the movie will be literally Starship Troopers. Like the game's Starship Troopers enough already. so the movie will just it's Starship Troopers now. That's all it is. Mm-hmm. Like, what can they do that's unique besides the campiness and satire?
That's a good.
Maybe that's all they need. Some other trailer I saw.
Well, this is really important though.
Well, it's good to save the best for last, but go ahead.
Okay.
Some other trailer. Not the Alarmo
story.
Okay,
you go, Michelle, and I'll do mine.
No, go ahead. The Alarmo story, please.
Yes. Okay. Now, listen, this is a really great marital aid, and you're going to be able to get it everywhere. Every bedroom should have one of these.
Marital aid, yeah. If you want to keep your ED going.
So, listen, every married couple needs one of these in the bedroom. The Alarmo is going to be available in stores in everywhere, participating retailers, starting in March, okay?
I like the first comment under it. It says, it doesn't have a snooze button. Why would I buy an alarm without a snooze button?
It does.
It doesn't, because if you
read the rest of the comments.
Yeah, and they said you have to have it off if you share the bed with another person. And I bet most people share beds with other people.
I've already explained this to you.
Right,
okay,
so it's an alarm without a snooze button. The end.
It has a snooze button.
Not if you're with somebody else.
John is the snooze button.
Read the next comment. It has a snooze. You move your arm around
keep
4
reading.
times.
It says you can't do that because my wife will set it off. Or you can't if you share a bed with somebody.
Okay, listen, guys.
They didn't add a snooze
button
to their alarm clock. Let me explain this to
you. Do not buy this if your wife wakes up after you. That's the rule.
Which is probably the majority of dudes. They're waking up earlier to drive to work.
I hope they have that on the box.
Yeah, do not buy this if your wife wakes up.
Okay, I'm just telling you, if your wife wakes up before you, Alarmo's great. It works, no problem.
Okay,
if it's the opposite
weird thing. How about just like put a snooze button in the alarm? Don't worry about if you have somebody next to you when she wakes up, he wakes up.
I don't believe this person though, because Michelle, how the snooze works is that you have to wave your arm 4 times, and then it goes into snooze mode. That's it.
Could they have like maybe you hit the button? And could you?
Well, you can push the button, and then you have to turn the knob to turn it off. But the thing about this though, it's going to be everywhere in March 2025. Now they're saying no Nintendo Switch Online membership required.
Oh, so you had to pay a fee just because you played it early? That's shitty.
But I already had the account, so it doesn't matter to me.
Yeah, but don't support that sort of shit. That was a shitty move, and now they're getting rid of it. The people who bought this early had to pay monthly fees. Don't know.
Well, whatever. I just had to log into my account, so I didn't have to do anything extra. I just logged into my account.
It's not about you. It's about Nintendo making you subscribe to use an alarm clock without a snooze button.
Listen, they only sold this thing on their website and in their Nintendo store.
Sorry, Nintendo apologist here. Go buy this $100
the people that
clock.
bought it were already subscribers. That was their market.
Not necessarily.
This thing does have Wi-Fi to connect, so you can get your extra tones and stuff. Correct?
Yeah, it has Wi-Fi. It pushes out updates, notifications. I'm curious to see if this becomes a success, how they support this thing long term.
I think this is going to be a fucking scalper's dream. People are going to be buying this and eBaying it.
Oh, you think so?
Yeah.
I don't know. Seems like a fun thing for a little kid or something, but I can't imagine it being that hot.
Is it still
$100?
What's that?
Is it still going to be $100?
I think so.
Yeah. No.
It's tough.
It looks like it's like a $5 thing. The screen is shitty. or whatever. So
it's great. It's every married couple needs one of these. I'm telling you, it's a marital
can't believe
aid.
you're married. So the Blood of Dawn Walker cinematic reveal trailer. I thought that this looked cool. This is from people who worked on Cyberpunk and Witcher 3. It's a new single player third person fantasy that was just announced. It's been in development for 2 years, Unreal Engine 5. It's like a vampire kind of thing, and this game looks
They
like it
only
has
showed
some
the cinema
potential.
though. Well,
Yeah, but the rumor is this is like the meat of the good CD Projekt Red people, like that were
oh
involved.
god, that would
So
be awesome.
I hope this is cool. I want to get excited about games, but so often when you just see the cinematic stuff, you got to kind of hold back. Same thing with Xbox, John, teasing that they have a surprise unannounced game we are going to be showing you is going to be. I'm like, okay. January 23rd, they said, the Xbox Developer Direct. What do you guys think it could be? Because they're hyping this up, saying they have a surprised unannounced game. Any ideas?
A game? Jeez,
Yeah,
man.
Aaron Greenberg. A surprise unannounced game will be revealed at the Xbox Developer Direct. It's a big, huge
So this is
thing.
a game we've never heard of, or is this an update on something we know
I don't
about?
think we know.
Update, I would think.
Like, where did Joanna Dark go, by the way? Perfect Dark.
Well, they saw her jaw and they didn't want to play anymore.
But what happened? That just vanished. We got
Yeah,
a
it did
trailer
vanish.
like 5 years
Yeah.
ago. Where did that game go? What is going on there? How come there's no Banjo-Kazooie games? Why don't
So
they?
you think that's what
why,
it is? Is it going to be a Banjo-Kazooie game?
Well, I mean, why doesn't Microsoft have their Mario and Astrobot? That's the property. Where is it? So, do you think they're going to have a new property that we've never heard of? Halo Kart? I'd like to
I don't
see
know,
that.
John. You're the Xbox guy. I don't know. You're always. I have no clue what it's going to be. I feel like it's going to be a big. Maybe it'll be a shadow drop like they did with Hi-Fi Rush, because
Right.
that kind of worked out for them. So let's quickly talk. Okay, go ahead.
No, I was going to say, let's talk about Ubisoft real quick because, for
Yeah.
one, Assassin's Creed was delayed. Okay, now
Yes, and Domino's Pizza had a Facebook post that said, "Call us
was
if you
great.
need help delivering on time." Assassin's Creed Shadow
I know,
delayed.
brilliant,
Wow.
right?
Yeah, you got dissed
So
by
there's
Domino's,
speculation
guys.
why that happened. Number one, listen, I think they're scared as fuck to release this game, okay? Because it's going to get destroyed. It's just
They're
going
trying
to.
to sell it. They're trying to sell
Right.
Ubisoft, so they're delaying it so it can be part of the package deal. Of,
Now, here's
hey,
the thing.
it's gonna come out.
Here's an update on this. So Ubisoft executive leadership was asked to comment directly
Mm-hmm.
on the rumor that Tencent is going to buy them.
Come on,
they would
China.
not
Hanging out there.
They would not respond.
Yep.
No comment. Vague language. Nope. We can't say more.
Yep. Good.
That's
Maybe
the
they'll
rumor.
take
They
some of the
said
old
we're-
fucking properties and make them good again.
They said we are currently actively exploring different options. And
sound
we
like
can't
Nazis, John. What's
say
going on?
more.
You know,
no,
it
they're,
also
they're
more
French.
sales
We shall
figures
do
just
French.
came. Je suis, oui, oui, madame. We are selling this to the Chinese. They have, they have very nice men. Okay, so here's the thing, though, with Ubisoft. Matt has been telling us, this is why I wish he was around still for these shows,
Yeah.
that Ubisoft is fine and it's okay. It's not okay. And
not.
more news
They
just came out
destroyed
about the
everything.
sales for Star Wars Outlaws. And so, first of all, I kind of knew it was doing bad because it had 2,300 concurrent players on Steam. But it just came out that in the UK for last year, it was beaten in sales by an old Star Wars game. I think Jedi Survivor or one of the Jedi Survivors games beat it in sales, beat Outlaws.
Wow.
Like nobody bought it, nobody played it. It was a failure. And these are things that Matt was arguing on.
And
So I
they
hope our
dumped.
next
Listen,
host can argue with me on this because
regardless what you think of the game,
Yeah,
it was clear
failed.
to me.
It bombed.
It was clear to me that it was a huge investment. Okay, it was a big game with 1 million set pieces. It was
Yep.
not trivial to make.
Well,
okay,
I mean, if you're going to say that Ubisoft isn't failing and they're doing fine and Star Wars Outlaws sold well, yeah, you're going to get called out. And I fought it then and I'm going to fight it now because the figures are actually coming out now.
Well,
And we're
as
seeing
of a
Ubisoft's
few
gonna
months
get
ago-
bought. Okay,
as
they're
a
going to
few
get
mon-
purchased
as
by
a-
Tencent.
as of a few months ago, it sold 1 million copies.
Yeah, it's a fucking failure.
I still got to
it's
give
a
this
Star
a
Wars
try, to
game.
be honest with you.
It's a Star Wars
It's not.
game.
It's not that bad of a game, honestly.
Not that great of a game either, though. But we have a copy to give away.
It's a
soon.
GTA clone.
No, it's nobody wanted to play it and it failed.
Clone.
It is.
Everything is a GTA clone. John, you should do a podcast. It's a GTA clone.
But like,
Yeah.
okay, so what does Ubisoft look like after Tencent
I
buys
hope
them?
it goes away. Everybody involved now just get
Tits
rid
and
of them.
ass?
tits ass, bring back Splinter Cell, bring back all of Sam Fisher shit. Like
make Ghost Recon great again.
Come on, China, let's do this.
Get the boobs, get the nipples, let's bring it. Come on.
Yep, nipple technology. To bring back some like.
Don't fuck with Division.
Or make it better. Well, they canceled the Division.
Yeah,
Homeland,
Division's still
like,
fun.
Mobile game.
Yeah.
I hope to see a new Splinter Cell game. That's what I hope for. And
that'd be nice.
Like,
why did they kill him? Because he was
because the last game they made him a crying little bitch. They said it was a modern.
Was that with the beard?
Yes, they said it was a modern Sam Fisher who had like an alcoholic dad who hit him and he was soft. Like, no, he's a fucking spy. It's Tom Clancy shit. Okay, so yeah, I hope they bring back Splinter Cell. That would be my wish for it.
The last one was the one with the beard, right?
I don't know. It was so bad.
Or Conviction.
Oh, Valhalla.
How long ago was that?
No, we're talking about Splinter Cell, not Assassin's Creed.
Oh, sorry.
Seriously, how long ago was
15 years. I don't know. I can't wait for Ubisoft to die. We forget, like, Skull and Bones, wasn't that them too? A bomb this year? Like, come on. They're not doing good.
No,
they destroyed Ghost Recon. All the Tom Clancy stuff they fucked up, except for Rainbow Six.
Yep.
And Rainbow Six, I think they just got lucky, and they're just like, okay, just keep this going, just keep it going,
keep it going.
But that's such a departure from the previous games, which is why I didn't like it as much because I loved like Black Arrow and Vegas and all that shit.
Siege is a great game. It is a true spiritual successor, but
they
were fucked with it.
They were on their way to being the Call of Duty, and they departed.
Yeah, I'm glad they didn't. I think it's much better. It's more tactical. Rumors also of an Oblivion remake from Bethesda, which is interesting because Sky Oblivion is coming out this year, which is like going to be better, but it's going to be Oblivion in the Skyrim mod, and this is going to be just Oblivion remade. So
I will totally play the shit out of
that.
But
yeah, I think Sky Oblivion is going to be better though, because it's going to be Oblivion in the Skyrim engine.
Oblivion was awesome.
I loved Oblivion. It's one of my favorite games. So that's kind of interesting. I'd like to see the older ones too, like Morrowind redone, like actually redone. But maybe that's the unannounced game.
Do you think the way forward is just recreating old games over and over again? Are there no new IPs ever again?
Well,
because everyone's scared.
I think you bring up a great subject here because some of the things like, there's some really classic and good games that are on not only the PlayStation 1, but on the old Xbox that really, if you redid it and you bring this new generation into learning these old IPs or whatever that word, you know what I mean?
Right.
I think there's some value there.
But Microsoft has done a better job than Sony by enhancing the older games. I think Sony's done it to a lesser degree. Isn't that enough? Like, just make sure the game is 16:9, number one. Like, that has to happen. Like, when I play a 4x3 game, I'm kind of like, ugh. Like, but make it 16:9.
What's the very your favorite least, old school? Just try to think of an old school Xbox game that you really loved with the, like like you said, like Siphon Filter, right?
Yeah.
Imagine Siphon Filter being redone from bottom up. Same thing, but like now.
Well, that game.
Look at the Resident Evil remakes. I really liked those.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah,
those are what I want in a remake. That's like a true remake. Or even Silent Hill was kind of a 1-to-1, but it's a true remake.
I mean, I have nostalgia for a lot of shit, like the original Deus Ex, like early PC stuff for me, like that was all amazing. Like on the original Xbox, like I was playing like Halo, Call of Duty, Rainbow Six. I liked the early Rare stuff that was the Rare stuff on there or on 360? I
don't think anybody cares about Rare, John.
At the
I think
time,
it's going to have some big pull.
At the time, people cared though. Rare was a big deal.
Yeah,
when Microsoft bought Rare, that was a really important purchase.
But then Viva Pinata bombed.
Yeah, they had Grab by the Ghoulies, which I did not dislike. Okay, so like Crimson Skies, I enjoyed that. I actually bought that at a flea market, like in the last few years, and it works. I put it in my Xbox, and I was able to play it. Like I think maybe on the Xbox One. I don't know. What were the big games? Psychonauts. I'm just kind of looking around.
I never liked that game. Thought it was.
But that's been redone.
Was overrated. Yeah.
I did like the Counter-Strike that was on there. It was a totally weird Counter-Strike. Did anyone? I played that.
I don't think I played that one.
It was not. It was not the Valve Counter-Strike. It was completely different.
Are you sure it was actually called Counter-Strike?
Yes, I played it a lot.
They didn't get in trouble.
Well, it was a licensing play. They had some other developer do it.
Okay.
But yeah, I would. But again, going back, Microsoft's been enhancing the games, upgrading the textures. Like,
Just doesn't
isn't that
excite
enough?
me.
Do we
No.
have to just keep remaking these games? I want new shit, is what I'm saying.
You can do both, though, because it's different teams that work on them.
But I think they're paralyzed now. They're afraid to invest $200 million in a game because some guy on
China's
YouTube
gonna do
shits
it.
on it. Right.
No, that's not why. It's because it's shit. The average gamer isn't even watching some guy on YouTube. I'm tired of people blaming the internet for why a game fails or why it did good or why it did bad. The average gamer, because I know them, they're people
Well,
like my
how
sister.
about Assassin's Creed?
They don't know what
that
the
game's
fuck is
set
happening.
That game
She
is set up
doesn't
for
know
failure.
anything. She has no clue if that's going to do good or bad. Like the average person isn't following the Assassin's Creed drama. They're just like, why does this keep getting delayed? And these animations look kind of shitty. Like the average gamer, we are in the very small percentage of people who are with it and know all this shit. Right. So the CC Games even said it. The average gamer that shops at a store has no clue about any of this. They just don't. We have to get out of that bubble that thinking that this is the cause. Like people can pretty much tell if something's good.
But what
bad.
I'm saying is that, okay, so the problem we've had potentially is bad characters, ugly characters. Like
the average person doesn't follow the influencer. The average person doesn't even know an influencer or follow an influencer.
Well, then explain why the games are failing.
Because they're shit.
But why are they shit?
Because you can tell by looking at a trailer.
No, but why
or the
are they
reviews.
shit? No,
because
why
the
are they
developers
shit?
that are working on them.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's the
But
talent.
it's all tied together though, because it's this group's mentality.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone's afraid to have an opinion because you're not this or that culturally, and it just becomes this mishmash of ideas with no vision. That's what's happening, right? Whereas
the
like a
talent
small
of the people working on Path
because
of
they
Exile
all-
compared to
they all-
Diablo, for example, will tell you all you need to know. It's the talent of the developers, not only the people building
because
the engines,
serious
but creating
talent
it.
doesn't want to deal with this PC political.
They aren't going to deal with it. No.
Office politic bullshit, and they go on. So I don't think any of that stuff exists in China and in Japan.
Of course it does.
Especially-
they just want you're hired based on merit, and your performance is going to be whether or not you did something
and
well.
it's designed by dictatorship. The guy that made Wukong or Stellar Blade, especially, he's like, I like, and I've said this for years. It's like I'm into
Nier
chicks
Automata. I think you're thinking
with
of, 'cause
latex
he's-
outfits and big
Yeah.
boobs, and that's the game I'm fucking making. Fuck you, I'm making it. And I
You
said,
can't let everybody inject their own fucking.
but I
purple
said that like
because you'll never
5
make anyone
years
happy.
ago. And that's where we are now.
Well, where we're at now is China and Korea and Japan making better games because of the talent of the developers. It's not because of influencers who like them or don't like them. So that's just where we're at. But I hope Sony's still doing decent stuff, right? I don't know about the new Naughty Dog game being great yet because it's just a trailer. But
I'm hoping.
we'll see. But I think Sony is kind of still hopefully going to carry the flag there. But it's looking rough. But we'll see kind of what happens.
So anyway, my point is, because everyone's paralyzed to make new IP, we have to keep revisiting old games.
I don't think Wukong had culture war help, Bill. Nobody knew about that. The average person doesn't know what's going on with Wukong. Just because one idiot wrote an article that said that the Wukong developers were sexist because she poorly translated the tweet, which was not true, that didn't make Wukong do well.
Well, it got
Wukong did well
amplified
because
if
it
you
did
paid
so well in
attention.
China. It didn't, though, because everybody knows about Wukong in China. That's like their fucking golden standard of like lore, and they love the character, and it was done well and
Well, it's a
developed
good
well.
game.
And it was a great game,
It's
and it was
fluid, it looks
graphically
great.
impressive. It was a fucking fantastic game. Nobody in China even knew or cared about the culture war, and that was a large majority of the sales. But even here in the US, that's not why it did well. The average person doesn't know about that one Kotaku article. They just don't. They don't care. They don't know. They heard Wukong was cool from a friend because it has badass combat and the graphics were fucking awesome. And by the way, the developers were skilled, so they made an Unreal Engine 5 game that worked.
But that game
And
was
it.
completely snubbed by like the Game Awards and everything else, right? Like,
I don't think it
those
had any
guys.
help. If anything, it would have. All of the game journalists and the critics bashed
the
Wukong.
game had baggage, though.
So
for
those
them.
bad reviews would have hurt it. Wukong would have done even better if the weirdo blue hair freaks at Polygon gave it a good review. So.
Right.
That's the thing, because the average person is probably looking at those sites because you know why? They pay for the Google results. So if I Google Wukong, the average person may go, this game has a bad review and not look at it because of the critic reviews. But, luckily it still did well outside of that. But people are having less and less faith, I think, in game journalists and critics at this point because we're getting a very different user score and critic score. And when you start
I
seeing that,
agree with that too. You
yeah.
just go out in there and play the fucking game. See if it's good.
Yeah.
If you don't like it, then don't play it. But like, I agree that this whole like shitting on Wukong is just ridiculous.
It was insane and based on nothing. It was really, really weird. But yeah, I don't know. But they have the last laugh at the end of the day. They did well. The game was great. And these other people are pushing Ubisoft, and Ubisoft is dead. And it's going to get purchased by China.
No,
so,
Ubisoft destroyed everything.
Yeah. CC
really
Game says
did.
average person doesn't even look at reviews. Yeah, like I'm saying, I know average gamers, they don't know what the fuck is going on. They don't know cancel culture. They don't know anything. You know, they're not listening to gaming podcasts. Okay. But I think where we're at now is weird. We're at a weird spot because I kind of feel like gaming is about to take a huge culture shift. Maybe for the better. Maybe we're going to get actually quality stuff.
Well, I think a lot of the games that we've been playing the last year or two started development in 2020 or around there, and we knew what was going on then. So I think that's why we are right now where we are.
Yeah, you had activists making games and not game developers, and the result is they're shit games.
Yep.
So
and now it's starting to...
Which means 3 years from now, the games are going to be great. The games that are starting today.
They have to start paying developers in this country more, or you're going to lose the talent to fintech, to like commercial work. To
it just needs to go back to smaller teams. But like
Astrobot was made by a small team from Sony Japan. And
exactly. Like just go back to design by dictatorship. Stop this fucking, hive mind, mentality.
Yep.
Like it's just stupid.
Wukong originally was created by 20 people. I think Power World was 10 when it started. You don't need huge teams anymore. You just need talented people. And 10,000 people who were quote unquote supposedly involved in making Diablo made a worse game than the couple of hundred for Path of Exile. You don't need a lot of people anymore.
Yeah, because you got one person there. I think we should really have a
they ripped out half the story. There was a really dark, cool story, and they ripped it out. They didn't like it. So you're going to get these vanilla, bland, shitty games. But
what's the answer? Because these, if we want these really slick, giant world games,
they
can't make that with 5 people. Like
Wukong was made with, I think she said it started with 10 and went to 20. Remember when we talked to her? So
but I'm talking like serious grand. I mean, listen,
wasn't
Wukong is
Astrobot
impressive.
grand? Didn't you say Astrobot was grand?
It was, but the levels are kind of bite-sized, right?
Okay.
I'm talking about like a massive
God of War or something.
I'm talking like a massive open world game, that requires millions of assets. Like
I don't know.
So that's the problem. Is that
Gear's not a huge
isn't
company,
AI
and I've already
helping with
played
that?
100 hours of PoE 2, so I don't know. I don't think you need huge teams anymore. You just need talented people.
Well, I was going to say, isn't AI going to help with that as well?
I mean, it could. It's probably better
But
than
that's scary.
some of the shit that they're doing. All right, well, let's move on because I think there was one other thing. I don't know if you wanted to talk any more about the Switch thing, John. Like, we don't know anything yet, but...
Well, there's speculation and leaks and all that shit about the GPU. Supposedly the clock speeds have leaked. When it's docked, it's running at 1007.3 megahertz, which is 3.09 teraflops. And when it's in handheld mode, it's running at about half of that at 561 megahertz or 1.72 teraflops. If this is true, to compare the GPU to GPU, the Switch 1 had a maximum of 0.39. So we're going from 0.39 to 3.09. So that's 10 times more powerful. And in comparison, a Series S can reach 4 teraflops.
But they said not as powerful as a PS4.
But hang on. What's important to note here, DLSS.
Will all Nintendo games support DLSS, John?
Nintendo is in NVIDIA's camp. No one else is.
Okay.
So they're the only ones that are going to get this tech.
So you think all first-party Nintendo games will now ship with DLSS?
Yes, but we're not changing settings. We're not touching a thing. It's just going to be baked into every game. So it's not going to be like on the PC where we can go in and change performance and
you're
visual.
Going to be able to turn DLSS on and off, probably.
No way. Nintendo's going to bake it into their games. Absolutely.
Really?
I'm hoping this is. I mean, listen, I haven't owned the last Nintendo thing I owned. I think was a GameCube. To be honest, they really lost me. I just I wanted to stay up with the most powerful shit, and it never was where where PlayStation or Nintendo was. So I'm hoping that you're right. Like, man, throw a really good, powerful console.
It's not going to be that powerful.
Mario game on there.
It's just going to be.
It's going to be more powerful than the Steam Deck out of the gate.
Slightly more powerful than the Steam Deck. So, and they said
no,
not
it's
going to
be way more powerful than the Steam Deck. And
I mean, we don't know the CPU on it.
No, I've read that it's okay. If these numbers are right, it's PS4 Pro comparable. So
that's still not a powerful console, is what Sav is saying. Like the GameCube was competitive at the time. This is still going to be old tech and an old console. Even
it's not old tech. Stop saying old tech. They're not taking a GPU or APU from fucking 5 years ago. It's a custom one, brand new for them.
If you're comparing it to a PS5, it's going to
be a new, efficient, cost-effective APU or GPU, CPU.
You don't know anything about what it's going to be. What I'm saying is if somebody is searching for power and strength and graphics, they're going to get a PS5.
I guarantee you it's
only
not
about the
tech.
Nintendo juice and the Nintendo games. That's it.
They're not going to put like
Nobody
a Pentium 2 in it.
Nintendo thing
it's
for
not
power.
old tech.
Pentium 2.
Like, it's not going to be old tech.
It's
going to be a more efficient, low cost, low heat, efficient chip. That's what they're going to use.
You're missing the point because you didn't hear what he said. He said, I like things that are super powerful, right? And I'm saying, well, it's still not going to be as powerful as like a PS5 or something.
I know.
So you're going to buy this for the... Shut up. You're going to buy it for the juice of the Nintendo games. You're not buying it for the power.
It's going to look... Listen, I have no problem with the Switch visuals most times, especially first-party Nintendo games. Like, it's kind of amazing to me how slick and glossy they look on my TV.
Yeah, the dock adds juice.
Considering how underpowered it is. I mean, the dock doesn't add juice. The dock just adds more power. Like, they don't have to worry about battery and shit, so they can let it go crazy.
Well, it does add juice technically because the clock speeds go up when you dock it too.
I know, because they're not concerned about battery. So they're letting the game go crazy.
So technically, the game runs better, and it's more juice. It's juice.
Can I ask some? I have a legit
it's just not throttled.
Question.
Yeah.
So here's my, and this I'm being a serious question. Okay, so if I'm a developer and I'm given hey, okay, we're going to be making a new game. We're going to be making it for the PlayStation 5 and the new Xbox, right? Now I'm going, hey, do I need? I want you to make another game, but I want you to put it on Nintendo Switch. Do I need to have like a whole different lower? I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like these two we're trying to push the boundaries of something, and the other this one over here is kind of like the. I'm not trying to be funny here. I'm being serious. Like,
no, it's true. They delayed Hogwarts for it. Yeah, they delayed Hogwarts.
Do you have to have a different team? Like, okay, now you got to really compact that.
Well, porting's always that's always been part of this business. You have teams that port to other.
But now it's optimization. It's more than just porting, so it works on Nintendo. It's optimization, so it runs on a weaker mobile chip. So I think what he's saying is.
But it's also a lot of it could simply be 720 by 480. Done. just change the resolution, right?
Well, you're not running 4K.
Yeah,
Wukong on it. So,
but they're saying that 4K 60 possibly, but it's all speculation. On certain
that's going to be
games,
with DLSS.
And Nintendo doesn't give a fuck anyway. They're going to do what they're going to do.
But listen, we're just guessing right now. We'll have all the details. Hopefully, possibly Thursday. It's a rumor.
If we do, we'll do a show on it. But I don't know. Teraflops may not be the whole tale, if these are even true.
The juice.
The juice.
It's the juice. That's all it's like a Seinfeld episode. The juice. You're just paying for the juice, guys, and the Nintendo games. It's not the teraflops, I think. But will people make the upgrade if they already have a Switch that runs old games? It's going to have to launch with a game that's Switch 2 exclusive, like a new Zelda or a new Mario.
Yeah, I guess it's going to be the new Mario Kart is a launch title, is what everyone's saying.
Okay.
And they're going to announce the next 3D Mario. So I don't think that's a launch title. I think it's going to be Mario Kart, which I have to admit is kind of like snooze fest for me. Mm-hmm. I'm kind of over Mario Kart.
Never was
I did not get into the last game.
Everybody just loves that thing, though.
Yeah, I know. I don't get it.
I know. I loved it. My favorite Mario Kart. My favorite Mario Kart
Super
is
Nintendo.
No, N64.
Oh, well, okay.
Mario Kart 64 blew my fucking mind. It was so much fun. And then I hated the GameCube one. Double Dash, fuck you. I never liked you. And the last one, 7, whatever it is, or is it 9? What is it not? Is it 9 on the Switch?
Yeah.
Whatever. I mean, I'm glad they supported it. Endless maps. But I never got into it.
All right, so Sab, before we get out of here, any news you saw? I think you posted something here.
I did put it in the... Oh, so I just... I don't know if you saw this. It's kind of new. It caught my eye because they're talking about trying to fight lag with the PlayStation 5 on online games. And I was like, well, how are they going to do that? So I kind of was reading the article, and they want to use AI to like kind of learn your button patterns, so that way if like you get lag, it'll automatically kind of know what you were going to do. How is this going to work? Like, how does it know that I'm going to like, what
if I decide I just don't want to play? Yeah,
like just like
right. Like, or I purposely pull the wire out every 5 seconds. I don't.
Yeah, I've heard about this before. A couple of years ago, they were saying that's how they were going to fight like input lag or whatever, and it ends up being predictive and potentially controlling your character.
So the other part of that, I don't know if you clicked on that article, and this is really weird. I don't know if you scroll down on that article. Mm-hmm. Did you see the DualSense patent by chance?
No,
that they turned the PlayStation 5 controller into a gun.
What?
If you hold the controller sideways, the R1 and R2 button make almost like
iron sights.
Yes,
that's pretty.
And they want to like patent that, so it's like almost like a gun you can like aim at your screen.
It's funny. I mean, that VR gun setup was actually really great.
Yeah, Pavlov or something, whatever you like.
The Firewall 0 Hour.
Yeah. Yep.
Did you have that, Savril?
I know I played with it at a friend's house.
Yeah, that rifle setup was fucking phenomenal.
I thought it was cool.
Yeah, I'm scrolling down the article now.
That's pretty funny. So
that's kind of Nintendo-y.
You hold it, but it's got iron sights, and like they're showing like a gun on the left. Like, here's a real gun with iron sights, and here's how you can replicate it. I can't believe
they're even showing that.
But it's like you're looking through the gap between the LB and the RB.
Like when I played Gumshoe as a kid with my Nintendo gun, right? I'd bang it on the screen. But yeah, that is weird.
But where's the trigger? What are you pulling for the trigger?
Well, I thought the same thing. What are you pulling on? Because there's nothing. But I mean, you could hit the X button, I suppose.
But your right finger, index finger, would be the trigger finger normally. Yeah. I guess maybe you hit the RB. You hit the LB button. Is that what you're doing?
It doesn't feel natural.
No. That's weird.
Well, anyway,
all right.
I think that's it. I do think we did Sony a nice service tonight. PS Plus Premium, PC ports. The PSP library was interesting to me, actually, hearing you guys kind of both finding something from that. So thank you for joining us, Sav, the Sony Stallion. If you want to talk to him,
thank you for having me on
Discord. You do like Twitch and YouTube sometimes too, right? As well.
I am going to be. It's one of my goals this year to bring back my Twitch channel.
Twitch.tv/Savril.
Twitch.tv/Savril, like you can see I dressed up as a girl for a little bit to help my mom out, and I have all kinds of crazy shit on there.
If you want to find a link, if you don't know how to spell it,
I'm going to get fired.
He's one of our mods. You can just click on his profile. He's probably got the Twitch linked in there. If you want to find him.
So.
All right, yeah. So check him out on Twitch as well. And he always has fun streams. I know you get a little crazy like John. You pull out your guitar, you scream, you yell, you dress up. It's a good time. So check him out as well. And also in our Discord, we're giving away those Gunnar glasses inspired by Gunnar. We also have God of War 1 and 2, Helldivers coming up, the Final Fantasies, a lot of stuff, weekly giveaways from our sponsor, cdkeys.com. If you are going to buy any of these Sony ports, check them out. Like I said, $8 compared to $50 for a lot of these things at CD Keys. So that's awesome. And I think that is it. Maybe switch to news this week.
All right, guys, listen, thanks for listening, subbing, all that shit. We'll see you very soon. Savril, thanks for hanging out with us.
Great job.
Of course.
Everyone,
Sony
thanks for
Sony.
subbing, all that crap. Go to videogameoutsiders.com. Go premium, $1.99 a month. That's it. We'll see you later. Out. Bye.
I got the PlayStation Plus, I got the Spider-Man, I got the God of War, I got the game streaming. I can play all the classics and the old stuff. You ain't got nothing, you are a game ass. Game ass. Game ass. You are a motherfucking game ass. Game ass. Game ass. Get the fuck out of here with your motherfucking game ass. I got the PlayStation Plus, I got the Spider-Man, I got the God of War, I got the game streaming. I can play all the classics and the old stuff. You ain't got nothing, you are a game ass. Game ass. Game ass. You are a motherfucking game ass. Game ass, get the fuck out of here with your motherfucking Game Pass. Bring it down. Bring it down. Alright. Here we go again. Game ass. Game ass. You are a motherfucking game ass. Game ass. Game ass. Get the fuck out of here with your motherfucking Game Pass. Game ass. Game ass. You are a motherfucking game ass. Game ass. Game ass. Get the fuck out of here with your motherfucking Game Pass. Sony's alive. Sony has risen. Sony's alive. 60 frames per second. You know, the man came on the stage and he said there's no drive. We don't need it. 8K upscaling at 60 frames per second because Sony's alive. They have Sony's alive. Terrafly.